There is, as a master planner, I have no control over the site for my project. So what happens is sometimes a developer would own 100 acres of land within a major city, and then we would have to master plan that, versus sometimes they tell me to master plan a university which is in the middle of nowhere and there's absolutely no context around it except the natural nature. And these are completely two different approaches or in two different projects. When you're designing a master plan within a city, you have to really understand that city. You have to understand the context of the city. You have to understand the infrastructure of that city. You have to understand the road network of that city, because you want to create a missing part of the city. It's like the whole city got developed, but this 20 acres of land never got developed. And now it's kind of a missing part of a puzzle. So when you put that in, it should feel like it was always part of this whole thing. So that's why it's important to understand everything around it. Versus when you design a master plan, like I'm working on a campus which is in Pakistan, which is in the middle of literally nowhere. I mean, it's far away from any urban environment. It's far away from any city or even any village. There is a major highway that goes close by, and there's a lake, and there's a small college which we're going to develop into a major campus. So the whole thing had to be master planned. So there really is no context in terms of built context, like an environment that we have to be truthful to or marry to. So we can really do anything we want. So we have to create our own environment. So when you're master planning something like that, you may have to create density in certain areas to give the feel of an urban environment, or you may want to create a very rural environment depending on what the vision of the planners and the community is. So it's a lot more flexible. And then architecture wise also you're a lot more flexible, like architecture design. If you want to control the facades and control the architecture design, you have a lot more flexibility when you're working outside the major city. Versus when you're working in the city, you want it to be part of that city. You want it to be an integral part of that city. Very important. Visually, walking wise, driving wise, it should all feel that it was always here. And that's the major difference between designing in an urban environment versus a non-urban.